Most firefighters don't lose their academy shape because they're lazy and unmotivated. In fact, most firefighters I talk to refer to their academy days as the time where they were the most motivated, the most disciplined. So why is fat gain, recurring injuries, decreased bottle time, and fatigue so common in the fire service and once you've gotten on the job when you've already learned how to get in shape before? Why did I gain 25 pounds of fat in my first year alone when I entered the fire service already having nutrition and personal training certifications? Now, here's the truth. You lose it because the job itself is designed to take it from you. In this video, I'm going to share with you the single biggest reason that is keeping you from getting back to the weight that you started with when you entered the fire service, and more importantly, what you can do to solve the problem with the same approach that has already been used by so many other firefighters. A recent study done by the National Library of Medicine found that between 22 to 60% of firefighters classify as being obese, depending on whether they were career or volunteer. This statistic alone increases the chances of experiencing a fatal cardiac event by 1.5 to 6.6 in certain populations. So let's talk about the problem in addressing this. I'll just lay it out. You've been lied to. You've been told by the fitness industry that the answer to maintaining high physical standards is a lifestyle of sacrifice. Work out 6 times a week for 2 hours at a time, 12 hours a week just to keep up and maintain. That sounds like another part-time job. And listen, I get it. The thing is that you've tried doing that before, and the problem is it used to work. And I was no exception to this myself, by the way. In fact, when I graduated the academy, I was in tip-top shape. Like I said before, I came in with 10 years of experience. And on top of that, I had certifications in personal training and nutrition. When I started at my first fire department, I came in ready to apply the same kind of tactics that had made me successful in the previous decade of my life. And the result? Well, I burned out in my first 6 months and I gained 25 pounds in my first 12. I would find myself in this cycle of doing all gas, no brakes for a few weeks just to burn out and then do 6 weeks of nothing, all for this cycle to continue to rinse and repeat itself a few months later. I became inconsistent and my performance was definitely suffering. I even had senior firefighters coming and approaching me, asking me if I was really cut out to do this job. So that led to me having to ask a really hard question. Does fitness just not work for firefighters, or is the way that I am approaching it wrong? Why wasn't I seeing the same results when I was applying the same kind of tactics and the same level of intensity that I had when I was in the academy? And as it turns out, that was actually the very root of the problem itself. When we're in the academy, we get in incredible shape and we give the success up to the method itself. We convince ourselves that that's the way to really do it. They prepare us for one reality, and that is the reality of an academy cadet. But if you've been on the job for any length of time, you know that is a far cry from what the reality of the job actually is. The academy gives you structure, it gives you a schedule, it takes away distractions, and you literally have nowhere else to be. You cannot apply the same solution to polar opposite conditions. Among these things would be sleep deprivation, soreness, poor diet, fatigue, and just general responsibilities at home. So, what was the solution, actually? It wasn't turning up the volume. It was turning it down. Instead of working out 6 times per week and beating myself up if I missed a day, I turned it down to 2 times per week. Not only was this easier to manage in the first place, but it also brought back balance inside of my life. Imagine eliminating 10 hours of work per week. Where else could you put that time and energy into the other things that make life worth living? What else would you be able to do if you only had to spend 90 minutes per week in the gym? When I flipped the script and put recovery first, I made more progress in 6 months than I did in the last 3 years combined, all while working full-time as a firefighter, plus overtime. As a firefighter, your recovery is already taking a hit by the nature of the job itself. You can't fix this problem with willpower alone. You need to fix it with biology and having a system that actually supports the lifestyle that you have instead of fighting it every step of the way. And here's the thing, I spent years trying to figure out a system that actually supports the lifestyle of a firefighter, that isn't just another CrossFit program disguised as a firefighter protocol. All of these things is what led me to create the free 12-week fat loss protocol for firefighters. It also comes with access to a community and pre-designed workouts to help you achieve exactly some of the things that we've talked about inside this video, all of which you can find in the description. Now, if you want a more specific breakdown of the 2 times per week workout system that I use to get back on track as a firefighter, then click on this video where I break it down step by step. Don't forget, being in shape is part of the uniform. Until next time.